welcome back to Wendy's Colouring, and today having a look at these lovely watercolours that Lightwish have sent me. So Madisi watercolours, they're a 24 set in a nice cardboard pack. I'll flip them over the right way in case you do want to read it. Who knows? And yeah, I've been quite impressed with these. I have had a nosy at them because, you know, I'm nosy, so why wouldn't I? So they come in a nice cardboard box. You get a really nice swatch on. It kind of feels quite watercolour paper-ish on the inside of the box. I've got quite a nice colour palette, got pretty much most things that you'd want, and yes, look at the size of these things. I think that's the thing that I find most interesting about this set. So you get a little, it was in cellophane, but because I've nosied at it, I've taken it off already, and because I have nails, these aren't the easiest, but there you go. So you get a little kind of hard plastic cover, which, let's be honest, you can use as a palette. I'm thinking I might use as a palette because it is kind of raised down. I suppose the downside is when I put it back in, if I've been using it as a palette, I'm going to get a bit of mess on it. But yeah, I'm thinking I might use it as a palette. You get a nice selection of brushes, which I think is great for any watercolour set. Particularly if you were, you know, starting off with watercolour, or you're not sure whether it's for you or not. I think this is a great starter set. You get a lot of paint for the money, I think, with this set. But you've got, as you can see, 1 to 6. They range in size from quite a monster down to a reasonably small. If I'm honest, I tend to use a smaller one than that, but that is the beauty of this particular arrangement. These are full pans as far as I can see, so the whole idea is that you can get much bigger wash brushes into these pans when you're using them, and that's this whole kind of Japanese style that they would use flat large brushes into these pans, so hence why you're getting these massive huge pans. I just think the size of these is amazing. Now this set currently in UK, I didn't check what the US price was, but I've literally just been on my computer as I'm videoing now. This set is actually reduced. It's on for £19.99, and for what you're getting, all these brushes and all this paint, I think that's a pretty good deal going. So the arrangement is pretty simple. I'll lift a few out so you can kind of have a look. These pans sit in a moulded flocked tray, so I actually do quite like taking out the pan that I'm working on. So maybe if I'm working with yellows, I do quite often lift just the pans that I want out and have them next to me. So the fact that they are loose in this little tray, I actually do quite like that. And obviously, if this order doesn't suit you, it's very simple to swap them about. Downside is, obviously, if you want to take this somewhere, these are likely to move about a little bit. You can put that plastic back on and the lid back on, and then I'd probably tape it a little bit if I was chucking it in my work bag. But I think this is better really as a palette that you'd use at home. But certainly, value for money wise, I think this is an amazing set. I think you're getting a lot for the money. For example, I have, as you might have seen, I have some of these ones, which were literally twice the price, the Kuretake ones. These are actually bigger than my Kuretake palettes. This Kuretake palette is twice as much plus more for very similar paints. Obviously this is a very particular colour palette that my Kuretake one is, but yeah, I just think the value on this set is amazing. I don't know how they're doing it for this money. So I'm going to have a look and see what they're like, because I've literally just looked at them. As you can see, I've not spoilt their beauty by wetting them yet, but we're going to need to do that, aren't we? Because looking for my tea pipette and I've lost it. Just a sec, I'll have to pause. So, haha, found it. Trust me, putting it somewhere stupid. So, let's get a bit of water on these and see what they are like. So, your guess is as good as mine at the moment, but ooh, they seem to be coming alive quite easily. I'm probably overfilling what we need. Okay, so we're all wet up. I think I'm going to use, let's have the smallest one because these aren't the massive. Now, how am I best doing this? I might have them side by side, might work, won't it? So these brushes will have some transit glue on them because as you can see they're all locked in a shape, they're firm, so you do need to just give your brushes a little bit of a wash through just to get that off, because it won't do your paints particularly good to get glue in them really. And then we'll see how it is. White, obviously, that's on the end here. I doubt we're going to see a huge amount of it because it's white on white, but we'll have a look anyway. Let's have a look. Curious to see how actually strong that white is. Ooh, quite strong, look. Yeah. Not bad at all, that. Have a go with one of the colours. Right, probably going to have too much paint on my brush for these little boxes, but let's have a look. I didn't take much care with the white, but I'll try and be a bit better with the colours. So I got lemon yellow, pretty nice. This is a nice yellow. I do like warmer yellows overall. What are we calling this one? Yellow pale. Yeah, I like that one. Yeah. I'm getting a bit of reflection on it, yeah. But yeah, they seem quite pigmented, these. Certainly making a lot of mess of my water. Can't be going through all the water. Yeah, it's almost a shame to get a brush full for on here, because I'm nowhere near using a brush full on this. Yeah, I like that one as well. Okay, so I'll do all the rest. I'll probably put you on fast forward because otherwise this is going to take quite a bit of time. We'll keep having to clean my brush. But yeah, I'll pop you on fast forward and I'll see you in a minute and we can have a look at the finished one. And I'm thinking we might try and use them in something. So I've got 2 watercolour books which I've been very naughty and not used at all yet. Have I actually figured out what these are called? Let's have a look. No, I've helpfully not done the translation. I'll do the translations before I come back, but I've got the garden one and I think it's Landscape Scenes or something like that are both Korean books that are watercolour books. So I'm thinking we might do something in one of those once we've got this figured out and I know what I'm talking about with these ones. So I'll see you at the end of this. Like I say, I'll put you on super fast forward, so it should only be a couple of minutes at the most, and then we can have a look what it looks like. See you in a bit. Okay, so yeah, all swatched up. Yeah. And yeah, I'm really impressed with these paints. I have been sent quite a few palettes over the years and bought some cheaper palettes myself as well. And I have to say, I think this is the best cheaper palette I've got. I think the value is amazing. I mean, you could see when I was using it, to clean that brush off, it's taken quite a few goes through my brush machine to get that much pigment off, because it's literally full of pigment. There's not loads of binder in these. There's a lot of pigment in these. Dark colours, look how beautifully dark the Prussian is, really is nice and dark. Same with the black. They're not drying chalky, because that's also not a love. Feel quite nice when they're dry. Colours are strong in some respects, like this colour that they're calling Blue Lotus is I think it's this one, isn't it, that looks really dark in the palette, but only when I add a lot of water to it, when you're cleaning your brush out, you can see just how beautiful that colour is. It's kind of a really deep purple, almost reminds me of like a fountain pen ink when you bleed it out. It's really beautiful colour, and there's a lot of colour in that that particular pigment. Yeah, I'm really impressed with this set, and let's be honest, this is gonna last a long time. I've mixed a lot of paint there. You know, you saw I put a few drips on, and then obviously I've used a wet brush and I've really mixed it through. But I mean, I feel like I've almost wasted too much of the paint really just in doing this, really, because a brush's worth was too much for these little amounts, so I've kind of rinsed quite a lot off. But yeah, I'm really impressed with the colour palette. I'm really impressed with how they feel and the quality. So I'm thinking I want to actually try and use them. I've got them everywhere. Like, how have I got it there? I'm so messy. How have I even got it in a space that I wasn't using? So I'll just budge them up for a minute. Where am I going to put that? No space. So I've got these two lovely books that I've not translated, so I'm just literally going to pause and translate them. Okay, so yeah, unsurprisingly, my first landscape watercolouring book by this person that I'm not going to try and pronounce because I'm going to mess it up. And then this one, my first gardening watercolour book by the same person. So I've got both of these, and both of these are both uncoloured. They are amazingly chunky books, they really are. But they're kind of like a start-off book for watercolour. So as you can see, you've got little practice exercises, you've got a colour wheel, I'm presuming it's telling you something about the pigment, showing you how to mix pigments, and a few other simple exercises. But I thought if I could find a page that I fancied having a go at, we could have a go using these lovely paints. If I find something that I'm feeling brave enough to have a go at. So I've got a few trees. I'm maybe going to skip on the exciting rocks. Although they are nicely done on the example. It's always nice to see an example, isn't it? See, that's quite nice, isn't it? And we could play about with a little bit of the colours that we've got. Could do with some little bucky marks to bung some in. Could find one. That's not helpful, is it? Where's all the rest gone? Right, we'll leave one in there. That is a distinct possibility. Oh, and I've got two, so if I make a mess of it, it's not too bad. Oh, that's also quite nice. Yeah. But this is what I mean. This is a great little book to have a play. That's cute as well, isn't it? Like a feather. Oh, and I quite like this. I just put bookmarks in every single page. Oh, that's very similar. Are these, is that spare? Oh, these are on thinner paper at the back. I don't think we want anything too complicated because we're just having a... Ooh, look at that. That would be nice with these paints though, because there's some lovely purples in there. I don't think I'm feeling that brave though. Not today, not for a simple play. That's a cracking sky as well, isn't it, that one? I think we'll try something simpler though. I'm thinking we'll do some of these at the front. So let's have a check in the garden one, just in case there's something appeals. So we've got a couple of practice mushrooms. Got some more tests. These are a bit more complicated in the garden one, aren't they? Looking at these. Garden objects. Yeah, I'm thinking landscape's going to win in a minute. Oh, bird's nice though. We've got pears. Windows. Got teapot. Butterflies might be quite nice, mightn't it? We'll leave a feather in there. Sunflower. Excuse my emails. I always forget to mute it. Yeah, so I'm thinking this one. So I think we'll just have a clean up a little bit here. Let's move that one out of the way. And I'm going to want this back on the desk, I think, so we can do it. So yeah, I'm just going to have a bit of a clean up, sort of brushes out and work out what I'm doing. And I'm thinking let's have a play on this one, because this is going to be quite quick. Because it's literally purples into pinks, into oranges, into a little bit of yellow and white in the centre. Let it dry and a bit of white spackle over the top, isn't it? I think that's pretty simple. So we could easily do that, I think. Watch me mess it up now. We might have a go at that as well. So we might have two of those, I think. What was the other one I marked? This is pretty though as well, isn't it? Yeah, I'm thinking we might start there, but I'll have a tidy up and we'll start once I'm sorted out. See you in a minute. Okay, so I'm a bit more set up, as you can see. I've got my plastic cover that's off this set that I've just put down on a bit of white paper so I can see the colours a bit better, because obviously the grey of my desk cover would affect how the colours look. And I think I'm going to have a go at this. I fished a few more brushes out just because I'm thinking I'm clumsy over and I just wanted something a bit smaller, maybe for when I'm taking colour to the edge, and I wanted a more square, just because I'm thinking we might do this wet in wet, because it's kind of very softly blended, isn't it? So we shall see. Do I know what I'm doing? No. Is this likely to be a disaster? Could be a possibility, but well, it doesn't matter, does it? There's another one of these anyway in this book. So I'm just going to pop a bit of water on that first of all, just to help things bleed into each other a little bit. Then I might give it a go. So that's going to move. That is the downside of that. So this is very, very dark, this purple. It's beautiful, but very dark, and obviously I don't think I want it quite that dark. Gosh, this is what I'm saying, there's so much pigment in these. As soon as you put any colour in the water, now it's too light. There's just no winning, is there? Maybe that's more like what I want. Maybe I should mix all of these first before I put any on there, because I kind of want a nice pinky tone. Maybe that's not the best one. Yeah, this is a video of how not to do this. Add just a smidge of white to that as well. And then I'm thinking we'll use a bit of the orange straight out of the palette, and the yellow is okay, so I think that's okay. Yeah. Right, so cross your fingers, folks. Oh, that's probably dried now, isn't it? Goodness. Because I've got the lights on, it does dry things off pretty quick when the lights are on. Okay, so I'm not going to worry too much about getting these exactly the same. This is my version. I want it how I want it. I need to turn that to get in at a better angle. Yep. Okay. Just bleed that out a bit. Yeah, a lot of this is dried already. Let's have a bit of that. I'm not going to worry too much about my trees. If they do get obliterated, I'll just go back over them with a bit of a black pencil. I think we'll still be able to see the outline of them, regardless of how much I put on. Don't think this is perhaps my best colour choice, but you know. Definitely need a re-wet. Then I think I'm gonna try a smidgen of the orange. I want to water it down because they're so strong, it'll be overpowering. This is what I mean, I think this palette's going to last so long because there's just so much colour in them. Too chicken to use it straight out the palette. It's just too strong. Well, then we want something really pale, which is not going to be easy. I'm going to take the tiniest bit of the yellow and really add a lot of water. That's not too bad, is it? I'm just going to pause and let my dog out. Dogs, who'd have them? As soon as I start talking, she's like, no, you're talking to yourself, I want out. Let me out. So, I'm thinking the top here, it's almost black at the top. So I'm just gonna be risky and just darken off top a little bit more, I think. Which I might regret, because this purple is sort of wrong. What do I think? It's not terrible, is it? Maybe a little bit more. Never know when to just stop. But yeah, just feel like I want a bit stronger red over there. Tiniest bit on this side as well. Yeah, the watercolour paper in this book is not loving getting soaked this badly. It's holding together at least, but I don't know if you can tell, but it is a bit wibbly wobbly, considering this is a book designed for watercolour. I'm going to take it all the way down on the trees just so that it's the same. Okay, I think that needs to dry. And then I'm going to need to mix up some white, speckly white. I need to thin some down. So I might just get my hairdryer, pause, and give this a blow dry, but I'll pause because that's going to be quite noisy. Back in a sec. Okay, so I'm back, dried off. I'm quite pleased with how that's dried off. It's not bad for a first go, is it? Yeah, it's not quite the same, but you know, who's testing? It's not a test, is it? So I'm thinking, I'm gonna actually lift my white out so I can add quite a bit of water to this because I need quite a bit of quite watery white, so add quite a bit of water. I need a big brush, I think. Need to get the glue off this monster first. That is ideal for thinning that out. I think that'll be alright. Other than now I've got a massive brush and know where to put it. That'll do. So, could do with a really firm brush now. So I could do the splatter technique. Just let me pause. I'm going to pinch an acrylic brush that's a little bit older. Just a second. Okay, so I've just got a acrylic paintbrush out with, it's just got synthetic bristles on, but they're much firmer, much more firm than you'd use for watercolour normally, because obviously I want to flick this. Now, I don't want this going on trees, so we need a little bit of something to mask it first. So I'm literally just gonna use a bit of my scrap over the top like that, I think. Might just pop a little bit of washi tape. I've got something handy just to keep it so it doesn't move, because I will knock it because I am stupid like that. Let's check. So that should be about right there. Why am I sticking it on the picture that they've done? This is what I mean. Sometimes brain not operating. At least I noticed that before I started spraying paint. What a moron. And then that one, literally like that. I'll just put another bit there, just for safety. Okay, so I'm going to just wet that a little bit, take some off, and then I'm going to get messy fingers. We'll see how bad. Let's have a look. How splatty. Let's see how much pigment we've got. Looking at that, we need more pigment. Watered it down too much. That's better. That's more what we want. I think I'm going to stop at that point. I've got it all over my finger and all in my nails. Now, if you wanted the white to be stronger, this is pretty strong for a white watercolour, but you could do that with a bit of watered down acrylic if you want that white to be like super in your face strong. But I wanted it to be fairly subtle on mine, which I think that kind of is, isn't it? But yeah, I'm fairly happy with that. And actually, the paint that we got on the black has kind of dried off okay, hasn't it? It's not been too crazy. Yeah, we've still kind of lost the white a bit, haven't we? Even though I've took the mask off, I'm still tempted to add a bit more because I kind of feel that I know. I'm almost going to take some straight out the palette because that will be super strong. Oh, that's perhaps what I should have done before. Now I've got it on the trees because I'm an idiot. And on my finger again. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad go, is it, for a first go with this? I've not got this kind of quite nice wispiness that has going down the centre, but even so, I quite like it. It's not bad for a first go. Got a nail full of white paint. Right, made it to my big brush. Right, I'm just going to get the dryer on it again because I can't turn the page over to do the green one. I'll just pause you and dry it. Okay, I don't think it's totally dry, but I'm going to call it dry enough to shut the book, I think. Hopefully. It has gone, if you're interested in the book, it has gone a little bit wibbly wobbly, the paper in. I can't really show you, can I? But yeah, it has bent quite a bit, that paper, considering this is supposed to be a watercolour book. I mean, it's not gone through. Looks still but fine, but it is. Oh yeah, can you see? It has warped the page a little bit, but colours, lovely. And if I'm honest now, if I wanted to work over that with coloured pencil, like in lots of situations in my books, I would do. That's even though I've splattered paint on there, that would be fine to work over, I think. Yeah, it's quite nice. It's not cracking. It's not too chalky feeling. yeah, I quite like that. I'm quite pleased with it. Okay, so I might just put something in there before I completely turn the page, just in case a little bit of it is wet. So the other one I was thinking about was this one. Okay, that's now annoying because I'm a bit tight for space. I've got something that's actually the right size. Oh, that might be the right size. Yeah, that's better. So I'm thinking greens, so I'm just going to flip this palette over that way so I've got a bit of green space. Which brush do I want? I've made a lot of mess on here. I might just fill my water pot up first because I'm out of water in my little pot thing. I'll just fill this up and we'll be back. Okay, so we'll have a go at doing something similar to this. I'm not sure how much point there is in wetting it because it's just drying so quick, but I think I'm going to take the top just first on its own and then come and do the reflection. Don't know, maybe I'll regret that later, but I'm thinking I'll do the reflection separately later because I'm not going to get them exactly the same anyway, I doubt. But we'll see. So I want some quite dark green, which this one's pretty dark. We'll have that around the edge. Just wet that in a little bit so it's not got a really hard line going inwards. And then we want something a bit lighter, so I think we'll go in with this one. It's called Green Pale on the box, but it's a little bit brighter. And then we're definitely going to need some yellow. Again, just going to use just literally some water on the edge now and then re-wet it, I think. So, some clean water. Re-wet all of this a little bit more. Going to work over the boat, not going to worry about it because it all came back fine on the trees. Then, which of the yellow? I think the first yellow, lemon yellow. I know you can't see the palette at the moment, there's just not enough room on my desk. I'll pop a bit of this in. Maybe into some of the background as well. And just with water, literally just with water. There's enough pigment, I think, on this page now that I can move it. Might want a little bit of the darker stuff just down here a bit. Right now. And a little bit there. Sorry, need to turn to get on this curve because we're getting a bit of a tide where the edge is drying out, which I do not want. bit darker at the top as well. Do it a bit more dark up here, couldn't it? Looking at it. A bit more on the edge. There. I am not getting as much nice watercolour movement, literally, because I've got the lights on. It's drying out very quickly in here. And unfortunately, I can't have the window open because my next door neighbour's children are playing out. And as nice as that might be sometimes, you'll be listening to them screaming. So, I've only got it open a crack. Which makes it even hotter because I've got the lights on. But yeah, I think if you were obviously not having to have so many lights on, you'll get a bit more movement. Didn't want that line. You'll get a bit more movement than I'm getting. But mine's drying out very quickly. Yeah, so it's okay, isn't it? It's not too bad. So I want a bit more of the... What green is that? Green Deep that I'm using. And I'm literally now just gonna, even though it dries straight away, I'm still gonna just pre-wet it just to help. Hopefully try and allow it to move a little bit, but seems to be absorbing and drying out quite quick. So I've got a brush full of dark. I want quite a lot of dark. Dear, I think someone's fallen over outside. Sorry. I'm hoping you can't hear it, but I can hear it. So I might have been a bit brave with that green, because that's a lot of the very dark green. If we don't dry, we'll never know, will we? And then I could do with a bit more water. Nice green. And then some yellow. Don't need as much yellow, I don't think, on the bottom bit, do we? It doesn't seem to be as much yellow in the lower bit. It mainly stays green in the shadow, so I'll just try and move what we've got now, I think. What do I think? A bit more dark here, isn't it? like I say, I don't think I'm going to get it exactly the same. I'm not too worried about whether it's exactly the same. It's a flavour of it, isn't it? It's a bit of fun. I actually want to lighten it a little bit up here. Just a touch. I shouldn't do that with watercolour, really. You should use the white of the paper. But who cares, it's my book. I'll do what I like. I wanted it a bit lighter because I quite like how that's got a lighter effect over it. Okay, my lines are a little bit obvious there. I just want that to soften a little bit. That's a bit better. Okay, so we've got the same again. We've got some white splattery, so I'm just going to mix some directly, I think, in the palette. But I need to just quickly dry this off with the hairdryer again. Because otherwise my white's just going to bleed everywhere. So I'll just flick you off while I dry it because it's noisy, and I'll be back. Okay, so it's touch dry, but the paper's still damp on the back. But colour's stayed nice, hasn't it? It's nice and vivid. I think it's a bit, my green's a little bit warmer, I think, than this. This feels like a bit more blue in it possibly, but I'm not going to worry about that. So we've got to do a bit of a splattering again on here, so I need to just try and mask my little boat, which I suspect is going to be easier said than done. Is that going too hard? Pop that like that. That'll do, won't it? Close enough. So I want quite a bit of water again in my little white palette. Even though it's a bit greeny, but we'll not worry about that too much. Mix that in. Just take the excess off. I'm going to put this down now. Okay, cross your fingers. Just watching how it absorbs. Yeah, it does seem to absorb into this paper quite easily. Maybe acrylic might be better for the splats, but for now, I'm living with them. Let's have a look. Just get the white paint off my finger before I try and remove the little mask. Yeah, it's gone up a little bit heavy there, hasn't it? But I don't mind it. It almost feels like there's hills or something in the background there. Yeah, it's not too bad, is it, for a first go? Yeah. If I put my white now, put my white back in my set. So yeah, like I say, as I'm recording this on Sunday, what date are we? 5th of May. I'm recording this. At the moment, it's on offer on Amazon. This set for, well, it's just shy, a penny shy of 20 quid. This set would last me a long time. Colours beautiful and vivid, as you can see. They've worked really nicely on this little book. Watercolour in this book, paper not so great in this book, but I do like the paints, and the colour is really beautifully strong. Like particularly this one, I watered those down quite a lot, and it's still a bit more vivid than the book printed one, isn't it really? Yeah, I'm quite pleased with these for a first little play with my lovely Lightwish watercolour palette. It's quite fun. Might do a few more. Might have a go at that other one. Where is it? This one. Where's the copy of it? Yeah. Quite like it. Anyway, hope this has been of interest to you. How Not to Do Watercolour by Wendy. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. See you on the next one. Bye bye.